Welcome back, YouTube. I am making this video for the specific purpose to point out something that I'm seeing in the chart right now about where Dogecoin is positioned. And of course, we're going to take a look here at the general state of the market. But I wanted to get right to the point here. This here is pretty much like the last 6 or so months, or like the last, let's say 6 to 9 months here of Doge. And I wanted to kind of zoom in here and show you guys what happens when we reach these levels. So these bottom three levels here, if you are unfamiliar or if you haven't been to the channel in a while, this is pretty much like the best areas thus far to acquire Dogecoin. This is where we always gain momentum. This is where we reach our lows and then we rally. Now, what happens here, this is the broadest range. This range here from around the very high fives, like 5.9 to around the 708 mark where we are. This has been the bulk of where Dogecoin has spent its time whenever there is, at the bottom of the bear market, some bad news, when shorts really attack it. This is where it spends most of its time. But the nice thing is where we're positioned now is when we have this breakout above this line, we almost always, when I say almost always, I mean like for like last year, it's almost like 100%. We have a run to about 10 cent at the lowest, maybe at the lowest, the high nines, but typically we'll have runs up here. Let's see, to rejection off the 10.45 mark. This is about 9.5, 9.49, 10.01. These are all runs out of this pocket. When we come down here and grab that liquidity, these are runs out of that pocket. Let's say 11.15. This is when Elon purchased Twitter. The 15 mark, I think that is, oh no, we had runs out here before. 9.17. And this was the beginning of that trend back in a year ago, back in July of 2022 to 7.85. So we always thus far have gotten momentum when we have that breakout and we get that confirmation above this line. We start an upward trajectory and we establish these trends here and we really just build support. The last two times this has happened, we broke out and went sideways for a little bit, and then we built some support here and really an aggressive angle on the last two times, and we weren't able to maintain over that 10 cent mark. So that's going to be where our next challenge is going to be as far as we're coming up with the state of the market and stuff like that. And obviously we'll have to watch liquidity as it flows into the market overall. But I thought that was really unique as far as where we are now, because Doge is really just bumping its head here at around that 708 mark. The 14-day moving average, we've been trending along it. We have the 72-day, which is also puts us at a very unique point, because two things can happen here. We can have the 72-day cross the 14 and create a death cross, or we can have the 14, which is what it's looking like here. It has had that tip up, create the cross the 72-day and create a golden cross. It would certainly give us a run here. And of course, we have our 200-day kind of just floating along up here. And if we're able to cross that, we can technically position ourselves to have two golden crosses here. Because technically, when you see like these crosses, you can expect more upward movement. You have the 14-day here crossing the 200, crossing the 72, and we were certainly able to get some more upward momentum here. So expect something similar if we can get this cross here and maintain this current level as far as where we're at. And obviously our next hurdle will be around that 10 cent mark. So let's take a look here at the king of liquidity, or the king of all the funds for the crypto market, none other than Bitcoin. And yeah, so we're still kind of like flatlining around that 30K mark, which is good. That is, outside of like stability and, obviously, the shooting to the moon, you don't want that downward trajectory as far as for the market, because that's going to have liquidity in the overall market going back and forth on this teeter totter. So that is not a bad thing as far as for this being here. We had the 14 cross and still maintaining above it. So this is really great here as well. and we see this 200-day rising very rapidly. So even for evidence of saying that, okay, have we bottomed in the market? Is this the beginning of the bull run and stuff like that? This will be a great confirmation here, is having your 200-day cross some of your short-term indicators here. That'll be certainly a great indicator for the state of the market here. Having this 200 cross the 72, that will be a great long-term indicator here for where we are in the market. So certainly keep an eye out for that. Let's take a look here. Matter of fact, let me go to, let's see, shorts. Check Doge shorts here. Of course, we got a giant spike in shorts. So shorts are rejecting off of the 200-day moving average. That's a huge spike. Compared to literally like the last 200 days of for Doge, for that to kind of spike back up. We've seen overall similar levels. Was this back on July 8th? But this here, obviously, they do not want this breakout. And technically, they're looking at the same charts we're looking at. So typically, you do have that run. So I wouldn't even be surprised by this aggressive spike in Doge shorts. So I would probably say you can expect more of that over the next couple of days as they try to gain momentum here to kind of slow down this spike. So expect more shorts to kind of come in. They typically like for Doge to be in that range that I showed you. This is, I'm gonna go back. In these ranges here, the shorts kind of back off and you can kind of see like some sideways momentum here. But when you have shorts above this, when you have Dogecoin trying to break above this or certainly above this, you'll see an increase and a steady increase, a steady amount of applied pressure from shorts. So as we kind of get around this range, you can kind of expect shorts to kind of pop their head back up to try and get prices back down. So don't be alarmed by that. That has been their strategy thus far. So I expect them to kind of keep that. As normal, Ethereum kind of mimicking Bitcoin here as far as for trends and sideways movements. Same thing here as far as for where we are in the market. Where ultimately our next big tell would be our 200-day crossing the 72. And as of right now, another indicator here, if you look here like the last two tests, the 200-day has acted as a bottom or support for Ethereum. So you see back here in March, we bounced off of the 200-day. And then here in mid-June, we bounced off of the 200-day. So if this is rising thus far, based on the current trend, again, obviously trends are trends until they're not. But based off of this, if this is getting more aggressive and coming up, then this means that bottom is also rising here. So again, another kind of like flash warning and stuff. So as far as for the changes of the market and the potential that we have that we've bottomed. So again, I do believe that these are some of the staple coins that I would hold, like Ethereum, Doge, Bitcoin, Cardano, stuff like that. You just have to make sure Doge, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, especially at these prices, I believe are great buys. If you are accumulating some of your favorite coins, make sure you're charting and looking at something similar to this to kind of get like the best entries, because ultimately there are very few bad trades. Most trades, most investments, long-term buy and holds and stuff like that come from bad entries. So when you look and you have evidence here in the chart, you feel conviction, then at least you're buying based off of that instead of just raw emotions, right? So let's look here. So that's going to be our catalyst here for going forward, is looking at that 14-day, whether or not we're going to get that cross to the upside over the 72, and ultimately breaking above this level here for Dogecoin. So with that, let me know as far as for if you are kind of waiting to see what happens here, or if you're worried about shorts, let me know in the comments. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Try it.